fast. In every nook and corner, the poor man catching the ass. You didn't like it rowdy, he too arrogant and black. So you look for greener pastures and went and vote Kamala back. You don't like Dr. Rowdy, you don't like how he does talk. You went and vote Kamala, the woman could hardly walk.
Kamala, making me suffer. Kamala, making me suffer.
David Lee get arrested, he end up in the hospital. These alleged corrupted big boys, they want to make jail at all. On one hand we have Kamala doggishly looking for war. On the next hand is the boy girl rat is man he looking for. Your AI song for election, it was a mortal sin. You lie and say when UNC win, everybody win. But after election, you let go your princess tongue hen. Now CPEP and URP workers catching the nenen.
Kamala, making me suffer. Kamala, making me suffer.
Them little bandits does engage the soldiers and police. But Kamala gone down Venezuela disrupting the peace. If Venezuela sneeze, we whole army go start to run. We can't fight Venezuela with we set a little caps gun. This little girl in parliament just keep calling my name. But tell her in Kaiso I'm already in the Hall of Fame. God forbid if I do the things that she want me to do. I'm warning you, your receptacle going to split in two. Christmas time coming, things go be a little lean. You can't buy punch and rum, so you can't make punch a cream. But all them have their big money inside the vault, while poor man have to drink super gasoline and suck salt.
Pilam belem bilem li bem bedem labadam dedai. What is wrong with this world we live in today? I say, so much people going astray on the Broadway. Idleness and pleasure seeking having sway on the minds today, as though people forget to pray. I see children being left alone without parental direction. After school alone, at home, in front of the television. In Sesame Street is the example they must follow. It's a froggy baby mentality gonna rule us tomorrow. You see, when you train a child how to go, when they get old they're moving so. When you're too young and you're bending too long, it's hard to straighten when it's old. When it's old and strong. Listen to me, change your attitude. Turn your whole life around. Come, change your attitude. The best time to start is when you are young. I said change your attitude. Don't wait till you're sick in the hospital to change your attitude. Stop being carnal and be spiritual. People walking around in a mental haze, and they love to laze and wouldn't even lift up their voice in praise. If we don't take heed and mend our ways, one of these days we gon' set this entire world ablaze. I see in the east and in the west, in the north and in the south, international commerce is rumors of wars and wars all about. And when it all and strong, listen to me, change your which holy men prophesied. Women walking casually today with their bottoms outside. And this is the example our children will follow. I hope you don't fall when your daughter walk making tomorrow. You see, when you train a child how to go, when they get old they're moving so. When it's young and your bed is wrong, it's hard to straighten when it's old. Don't wait for nobody else, you must start. Come, change your attitude. You can ask the Lord for a brand new heart. I said don't change your attitude. I was a disciple of Lucifer. Thank God I changed my attitude. Now I'm serving Jesus the Savior. What is wrong with man from ever of old? The scriptures unfold. He accepted brass for gold and destroyed his soul. With an evil imagination out of control, this misguided soul is spreading violence throughout the world. I see children sexually abused by close relatives, husbands leaving their wives battered and bruised. We modern yet so primitive, and this is the example our children will follow. Oh Lord, what kind of world will we have tomorrow? You see, when you train a child how to go, when they get old they're moving so. When it's young and your bend is wrong, it's hard to straighten when it's old. When it's old and strong, listen to me, change your attitude. Remember, you are from the human race. Hey, change your attitude. In a rat race, money have no place. Come, change your attitude. In the image and likeness of God you are. So change your attitude. You should be showing God-like behavior. Way yo 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 ya danga dangerai. Pilabali bilabalem libem bedem labadam derai. Aha. Way yo 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 ya danga dangerai. Billy 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 bem bilem bedem labadam derai.
Hi fam, it's your girl the Taki Lendo, and I'm shooting my video for I Love right here in Parman. Come up Parman, Larry Lime. I like pastels, I like penny, I like black cake and fruit cake too. I like turkey, I like sweet bread, give me the sorrel and ginger beer. But I love Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. Yes, I love Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. I like shopping, I like baking, I like painting. It's looking good. I see you cleaning, your power washing. I see your good things, but just one thing. Do you love Jesus? Emmanuel, God is with us. He left heaven to save us, and we will overcome. 'Cause I to set me free. But I'm glad that he did. He did. He didn't have to come for me. He didn't have to come. He didn't have to die for me. He didn't have to die. He didn't have to set me free. But I'm glad that he did. Yes, I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He loved heaven to save us, and we will overcome. Yes, I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He loved heaven to save us, and we will overcome. You love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He loved heaven to save us, and we will overcome. 'Cause I love Jesus. Emmanuel, God is with us. He loved heaven to save us, and we will overcome. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. Do you love him? Do you love him? Do you love him? Do you love him? I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love Jesus.
What song is Keep Your Family Close?
Fall in, fall in, fall in. Oh yeah, fall in. Lord, family. Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, let me hear you sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Es la vibra. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la familia. Respeta siempre a tu familia. Are you used to be with them in the rain and get you bobbing down in the drain? And when you catch yourself on that strain, them on your back again and again. There's so much a mango surely climb. With them you spend so much of your time. Instead of getting exposed to crime, stay home and have a family line. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, let me hear you sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Family is the first ones that you call. When times get rough and you take a fall. So when things nice and your money tall, then you should link with you have a ball. Or we should put the family first. About their wins you should always bounce. So when you take and your Christmas toast, just for the ones you love the most. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, everybody sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Ah, hey. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la familia. Respeta siempre a tu familia. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with
good evening, everyone. Good evening to those of you locked on to Constructive Talk this evening. I have a guest with me. I have two guests now, but really one on camera. I have two babies actually, two young men who I, know as children. You can come a little closer to the mic, eh? Right. I want you close to the mic to talk because I know you like to talk down in your belly. Right. So I have a guest with me this evening, and he is here to talk about good news in my community. Good news is good news. Today I want to bring some good news of what is happening in my community. And over the weekend, there was not over the weekend, but there was a basketball tournament that was happening, and the young men in my community was part of that whole tournament. And I am really proud of them. That's why I asked them to come this evening to give you all some good news. Because maybe I missed it. I'm not seeing it in the news. So I'm saying, because I'm not seeing it in the news, let me get them to come in and highlight it and talk about it. So this evening I have one of the young men. You the captain of the team?
No.
All right, he's not the captain of the team, but you're one of the players of the team.
Yeah.
You're representing the team this evening.
For sure.
Why Jovan couldn't represent the team?
I don't even know, he's scared. He's probably scared.
He's scared?
He's probably scared.
Why he's scared? He's scared of me?
Probably.
Or just scared of the mic?
Not lazy mic.
All right. Yeah, because he ain't never scared, He's a never scared guy, But anyway, I wanted to tell us about the tournament because I don't know if I missed it, but this tournament started when exactly?
The first game we played for this tournament was back in June.
June.
Yes, it was a pretty long tournament. South Zone basketball tournament, basically. So it had about 8 teams in the men's division, about probably 8 or 6. It had under 19 girls, it had under 17 boys, it had under 23 boys, it had a lot of different divisions, and a lot of basketball was played. So it just wrapped up last week, Friday. Last week Friday was the finals for the open men's.
Right.
And I believe the week before, something like that, was for the under 23 and the under 17 and stuff like that.
Okay. So what category you all fell under?
Well, me and Javan both played under 23 and open men's.
Okay, right. And how did that go for you guys?
Well, for the under 23, we came second. Point 14 came first, and for men's we came first, and police came second.
Okay. So tell me, how was it turnout? How was the experience?
It was a really good experience. It had a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of parents. I mean, it had a lot of new faces on the court. New kids coming to show their talents and what they've been working on and stuff like that. It had a lot of support from other basketball icons from Trinidad and Tobago.
Like who?
It had faces like, you'll see some South men like Adrian, you'll see Akko, you will see men like Pantin, Nolan, like Petrojazz guys from a long time. You'll see majority of them Marble guys from a long time, and a lot of familiar faces in the basketball community.
Your father wasn't there? Your father is a familiar face?
Yeah, he was there. Your parent, he got that parent.
But, and the reason why I'm telling you that because your dad and I used to play basketball.
Yes.
So how you feel I know that he's supposed to be there?
Well,
your dad, let me tell you something. Your dad was a very, very good basketball player back in the day.
So I've been told.
Very good. Friday was a very good basketball player. I used to play for Old Tech. Now is I can't remember the name of the school right now. I think they changed the name from Old Tech, and then I went on to Technical Institute, played for Tech, and stuff like that. So basketball was my thing. We grew up in the era of Jordan, Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal. Some of those are the guys that we grew up watching. Those are the guys. Lakers, Chicago
Bulls
Bulls and is that the Lakers or your Bulls? So that's the era that we grew up in. So that's why I could tell you. That's why when I ask you if your dad wasn't there, because I know that that's his thing, and that's where you get it from.
Real.
That's where you get it from.
Yeah,
don't try to deny it.
No,
The man, and as I said to you just now, he represented well. He represented well, real good. You know, I'm trying to get the game to show some of the viewers what the game looked like and the turnout. And the reason why I'm doing this interview, for those of you who are now joining me, is because these young men are from my community. They are from Pleasantville. You understand? And I am proud of them for what they represent and what they would have been able to achieve. You know what I mean? I am really, really proud of them. And I am glad to have them here to talk about it. You know, so if you're now joining me, this is my good news segment where I am actually interviewing one of the young men from my community with 261 persons on the live. Those of you who are on the live, I'm actually interviewing a young man from my community, and they would have achieved, they did well. They achieved a nice little, they won a tournament this weekend. So tell us now, so how the team, how many of you on the team, and how is the team managing, and who is the manager of the team, who's the coach of the team? Give me some information, huh?
Well, currently we coach is Melissa Guerrero. I'm not pronouncing her last name correct.
Well, that's between you and her.
My coach. Well, we don't really have a manager per se.
Right.
But we have, it's like, so let me tell you how it started actually, right? So it come like a group of people, like a group of friends just playing basketball together constantly. We used to go Point Fortin and Sweat, we used to go Maloney and Sweat, we used to go Grandy, we basically told you all of Trinidad just sweating in different communities.
Right.
And we was like, why not we just make a team? And well, Tariq, the captain, he decided, well, we could make it official into our official team and we could join our tournament and we could start play and group in all the friends and we get something going.
Right.
So that is basically the start. Southside Elite right there. We have 13 players currently. Well, that's in the men's. We just started off with the under-23, trying to get some things going so we could get all age groups involved in the shindig we have going.
Right.
But right now we have 13 players for the men's. We have one abroad. Well, not really abroad, but he on a little scholarship playing in Bahamas. That's Rango. But yeah, we have different players from South, we have players from East, we have players from the West.
Okay.
So
So that everybody from the team from Pleasantville?
Majority
of the players from Pleasantville.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, that's real good, man. That's real good. So let me show you all some highlights of what's going on and what went on with the team over the weekend. All right, so we're back, and that's just some highlights of the game and some highlights of the achievements of these young men. And again, I want to really tip my hat off to you guys.
I appreciate it.
You know, I tell you, when I heard about it, I said to Jovan, I said, I want to interview you guys because I want to highlight the positive coming out of the community because you see so much bad. You understand? Yeah, but them fellas and them in the buildings. And we haven't heard anything about our buildings for a while. For a good while, we haven't heard any negative coming out from the buildings, which is a good thing. You understand? And now you all have basically put us on the map. And I want to highlight it. I want to, give you all the opportunity to share. So how was all of you are young men? You understand? I'm sure it has some of them that's getting their feelings. It has some of them who might like how Jovan does talk to them. Or there's a name that us call him by. What's his nickname?
Who?
Jovan, yeah.
Guti.
I hear he's a very good defender. Is that true?
For real. Most aggressive defender we have.
I heard so.
Yeah.
I heard so. Where it was yesterday, I was talking to somebody in church, and they was telling me about him.
Yeah.
They say, who, Guti? Yeah, Guti is a good defender, and I'm proud of him,
That's the man we decided to really do work.
Serious?
If you use the best player on your side, Guti will be better than you.
Wow. See, so he just bat them out and thing.
Well, you do really bad, but stopping you from getting to the rack.
Yeah. Right. Long time I was the center,
Well,
couldn't pass me as a center,
We ain't go same day, but
yeah, couldn't
we
pass me.
We have a tank for that.
Yeah, couldn't pass me as a center, Long time when you come in as a center on me when I was a center, I bat in your way. Yeah, that was one of the things. Unfortunately, my coach and they used to train me to do because I'm a height. You understand? I didn't have all the size, but I had height. And when you come in like Jovan and them, it's batting you out. When you get out bat too, you're wondering what it is. Wait. But that's good, man. So tell me about the team, the formation of the team. Who is the forwards? Who is what will it go?
Well, we have majority of the team is guards.
Okay.
So we have two big centers. That is Jelani Valley. Mm-hmm. It's called me Tank.
Okay, that's not the boxer. Okay, all right.
No.
I thought it was. I know a guy who just box too now.
Nah, that be big guy. And then we have Jabari Prince. Yeah, bigger guy.
Okay.
Then we have Tibal Gomez. We have Sarek Najir. We have Javan and myself. We have Josiah Marisho. We have
Josiah Marisho. He from Marbella.
Yeah, J-Roy.
That's
Quincy's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another good basketballer too in the day,
Mm-hmm. We have Mikhail Phillips, like we call him the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mikael Phillips, like Rango.
Okay.
We have Corey Lee Hood, that's the veteran on his side, we should say.
Right.
We have Chana. Yeah.
Chana, no.
Not like Chana.
Okay. Chana. I ain't going down that road. I don't want to ask no more. But I'm good with that. Let me just stick with Ali. Chana. We good. You like Chana? Alright, we good. Let me leave that alone. But go ahead.
Well, I'm missing. We have. Well, again, I'm missing somebody. I wanted to save Tariq for last, but I don't know if Tariq is the last person I didn't call.
Mm-hmm.
But Tariq Singh that we captain.
Right.
We have Palmer, Ronaldo Palmer. Yeah.
Ronaldo Palmer. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
He's an interesting player.
Shooter.
Right. He's a shooter.
Shooter.
From the time you say the name, man, I had a feeling he was somebody who the team relies on to score.
Yeah, shooter.
Right. Talk to me.
I believe that's 13.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's 13. When you are like two bigs, and we are like two guys who could probably go big at a point in time, but in any basketball world, you can never really be a big guy to be able to be a guard as well.
Right.
So.
Right. Wow. That's real good news, man. That's real good. So how the support was? Tell me about the support, though. Did the community come out and support you guys, or did you all have to struggle for support? Tell me.
No, the support shockingly was very impressive. It had a lot of parents.
Right.
It had a lot of kids who now starting to play. Like younger kids under 17, they come out to support. I believe in the last game on Friday, barely had anywhere to sit in the stands. Well, from my view on the court, I should say.
Right.
It just looks so crowded. Like if you had somebody in the stands, you couldn't find them. Yeah.
Wow.
So the support was very, very massive. It had rhythm section from family members.
What? Well, it had the works.
Yeah, it had the real vibes. It was very nice. It was a very nice experience. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, next time we'll have to come on and promote it here.
For sure. There's no problem at all.
Right, we'll have to come and let the community know when all you playing somewhere, how it's going and stuff like that. You know, again, if you're now joining me, I have a young man here with me from my community, and they would have done really well with basketball. You know what I mean? Really well in the basketball league, South Basketball League, and they would have won. They would have beaten Police over the weekend, Friday to be exact. And I showed some highlights of the game and stuff like that. So I want to open up the phone lines in a quick shout. Open up the phone lines to allow some of you to call in. I know that there are persons from Pleasantville who listen, and there are persons also from outside of Pleasantville and stuff like that who will want to call and congratulate you guys. I've given only that little 5 minutes. So tell your fans to call in now and shout you all out, big you all up, and give you all an opportunity to interact with the listeners. So the numbers again are 464-7003, 464-7003. That is the number to call. Talk to the young men and they give them a feedback on how you all feel about the achievement, especially those of you who living in San Fernando. Can you get your first caller there, man? Can you get your first caller? Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good night.
Hello, voice.
Who is that voice?
Skipper.
That is Skipper?
Hello?
The captain, yes, sir. Go ahead. You hearing us?
Yeah, you.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I'm really proud of this team. I enjoy watching them.
Right. So, Skipper, tell us now how it was challenging to work with these guys, or were they disciplined?
Nah, it was a blessing to work with these guys. These guys are my brothers.
Right. That's what we're talking about, man. So, tell us, Skipper, from the get-go, you saw the gift and the talents in these young men, and how were you able to channel it in the right way?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, we played together. We played from the jump, so it was just kind of natural for us. And then we just I just decided to make it official, so where we could compete at a high level.
Right. Okay. Cool. If somebody would interested in joining the team, is there still room for that?
Sorry, say that again?
I said, if somebody's interested in joining the team, is there still room for that?
Oh yeah. Well, as Friday said, we have a under 23 team. There's space for young and upcoming players, and also for adult players. We're looking to make a B team. We have a A team, so there's always room.
Well then, Skipper, you need to send an ad here. You need to send a little ad, Skipper. So if somebody's listening and their son want to be a part of the team, and they're seeing the giftings in their child, and they believe that they want to get them in a discipline sport, I think there's a good opportunity to get them out. Skipper?
Yep. They could contact Southside Elite on Instagram.
Right.
Or
all right.
Get in touch with Jason Friday.
Hey, what go on? Jason? Oh.
Yeah, we have the same name.
All right, Mr. Friday. All right, so, Skipper. I I didn't know you and your dad are the same name. Yeah. Okay. You the eldest?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that call. Hello, good evening.
Evening.
Hi, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Zach Nadir here. One of
Next one
Friday's teammates.
Okay, so you are one of the players.
Yeah.
So talk to me. How was the experience?
Oh, this experience was really great for the entire team. Just like the boys said, we were just a bunch of friends sweating, going all around the country sweating, and for it to reach to the point where we could rally together and get this victory really meant a lot to every one of the individuals, especially coming in so close last year to actually reach to the water this year. It was really, really nice.
Right. That's good to hear, man.
Just for big up all my teammates, my coach, right? She was one of the major roles and factors of bringing us all together because there's a bunch of 13, 14 hard-headed, and she really rallied together, the fellas, and then getting serious and really rallying together to get this win. I really appreciate all of it from these boys. I really did like it.
Great, man. That's what we're talking about. Appreciation. That's a good thing to appreciate when you see somebody believing in you and putting the whole effort into making sure that they achieve.
Correct.
Great, man. That's good. Well, Ola invite me to Ole Lime. I surely, well, Ole don't have the last year. Ole had the Lime the Friday, I saw a video.
No, we couldn't wait.
I realized I saw a video with Jovan. Somebody sent me a video with Jovan, but I ain't gonna say nothing on the live. I will talk to him personal. But yeah. If I'm not picking on Jovan plenty,
Not really.
Yeah, I'll pick on him because he's a one. He leave him out of this one, boy. I really feeling how. I really feeling how. I thought I was he real good friend, but anyway, let me not say nothing here because he started tote feelings. Anyway. All right, so anybody else want to call in and talk to the young man and congratulate them on their achievement? They won the South Basketball League. How old are you? 23. Giovanna, how old are you? 21. And how old was the young man who called just now?
Which one?
The one who just called?
29.
So, the 20s, man, is a bunch of young, strong young men, man.
I think he's the oldest player.
Give me the age range.
So, from... I believe Marisha is the youngest. No, Rango is the youngest.
How old is Rambo?
I think Rango is 19 or 20. And
wow.
Go straight up to Corey. Corey's the oldest. I don't wanna sound bad.
Yeah.
But I think Corey is like 40. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm really not sure.
That's cool. At least he could be somebody that could keep all you on a certain path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. Corey has a responsibility now to make sure that all you go through what you have to go through. But if I only going through, at least you get your little girlfriend heartbreak. Corey could tell you about that.
Yeah, that's true, man. I don't think about that.
So you ain't get no heartbreak then?
Nah, you can't get no heartbreak out there. You focus on your prize.
Okay, you know something I don't know, boy. You know something I don't know? Apparently, you know something I don't know. But anyway, I will leave that there. Okay, so I don't know, none of your partners are calling again.
I don't know.
Nobody want to call in again? Who is this boy? All right, I think so. That is the day then. So again, I want to congratulate you guys for being on my good news segment. Also, I really want to tell you guys, congratulations, man. Congratulations, and I hope that you guys continue to do what you have to do to make the thing go nice.
Sure, we have our next tournament coming up soon,
When?
I can't say when.
Okay.
When my date wasn't finalized yet.
Right.
So the same way it had South Zone, it had North Zone.
Right.
And then it had
so you all might have to play
the winners from
the North Zone.
Everybody come together to make one big tournament.
Right. And that means that whoever win the whole national tournament.
Basically.
Ole feel ready for that?
We had to start training.
Well,
Ole get there for sure.
Well, I think Ole sober now because from Friday night, Ole didn't look too sober. I see Jovan. I see Jovan do something. I said, only alcohol can make you do that.
I played the fifth.
But you know, I mean, you know, when I saw Jovan in that celebration, I said, that not normal. That not normal.
Nah, that night was very normal.
For Jovan?
Yeah.
That's a customary thing?
Yeah.
Why saw that? That you ain't see the video, I see. You ain't see that video. He brother sent me a video.
Well, then I ain't see that. I ain't think I
that's what I tell you. Don't say what you know about.
Well, he was next to me, so I'm going off of what I see. I can't.
Okay, all right. But he better take a video. Yeah, and why see in that video, Regin? Let me leave it there. Javan is my boy, and I'm going to let him go against me.
I'm going to find that video.
Now, you won't find that video. You can never find that video. You know what I mean? You can never find that video.
I don't talk to Guti, brother. I don't talk to you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see that video.
You can't see that video?
If you see the video that bad, I have to see that video.
Anyway, any closing remarks?
If by chance you was out there supporting us, or you're just there for the vibe, we very appreciate it. I mean, coming from a bunch of youths who trying something new. I mean, everything very new to us, but we're still trying. I mean, we just start giving out jerseys to fans and supporters.
Really? And you bring one for me?
It was short notice. Don't worry, I'll organize that for you. That's not a problem at all.
Who is this boy? Jovan again.
Jovan again, you gotta blame me. But yeah, we just starting out something new, but everything will be up in the full works very soon.
Right.
Just time and patience, I should say.
Just let me know when you all going out again, and I will be there to support, man.
For sure, we
if I support the national football team, I can support all you.
Simple as that.
Yeah, man. So you all get my full support and love.
We appreciate
right,
that.
Jovan? Right. Full love and support. So again, thank you all for taking the time to come and share your experience. And I hope that it's not going to be the last time.
It won't.
Right, so you know you're on the platform and you're seeing the numbers.
Yeah, big numbers.
Okay then, you see the numbers. This is your early viewers here, you know?
Big number.
Okay then. So thanks again, man. Jovan, thank you very much for gracing me with your presence. And you could have do what he do here, you know, but I don't know, you just like to fight me, right?
Letter is just for you. My intention was to give you this letter when election was true. But since Dr. Rowley was stepping down, I figured I couldn't wait. I'm reading it now.
I'm reading it now.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
I hear people say the PNM wasting the nation's time. I hear people say the UNC go scrape every last dime. And some couldn't choose between bad and worse, So I had to write this plea for the next leader of this country.
Cause we need to see
a nation full of success. We need a leader addicted to progress. Someone who's not here for the money and always giving us transparency. A leader with a clear destination and a direction that we will see. Most respectfully, to whom this may be. Some people say bad politics slowing this nation down, and some people say implementation is where we does go wrong. But I say that they both are true, and that's what we need to see to fix our style of democracy. Some people say this moving world keeps on evolving, and some people say our infrastructure needs some upgrading. That's why I hope this letter you read for these issues to resolve, so sweetie auntie could start to evolve. Cause we need to see ministries that competent, information you'll get in 10 seconds, public servants who will answer the phone and give you advice with a pleasant tone. A bank run should take you the whole day. It's time we stop playing that war we was see. Most respectfully, to whom this may be. When I was a little boy, but when I see they arrested Earl, I'm glad my gun was just a toy. It reminds me there are few ways up and 1,000 ways to fall. It's not just for one, but that goes for all. Many leaders in this land could be guilty or innocent, and it's hard for the people to truly know, so they will judge your intent. So before you walk in that big office, take a look at your character and have a long chat with Almighty Father. Cause we need to see power without ego. Take a ride on the bus, let people know. Don't be too much on your high horse, but be confident whenever time calls. Careful how much your leaders put one pot. Them things have to stop. Thy war we was see. Most respectfully, to whom this may be. This is written in the future tense, with hopes that you are a leader of great poise and great resilience, one who structures TNT with its local policies, not from global powers, but what the nation needs. I'm not going to lecture lecture you on what's right and what is wrong. But I ask you, based on the people's needs, keep your ears down on the ground. And don't be like Gillian Bishop and not care what the people think, cause you could still learn from the babes and sucklings. Cause we need to see TNT in the World Cup. Innovation from young people don't stop. A culture in the street to hang we emblem high. So soca go stop trying to eat the pie. A leader who strike fair into criminals, that is critical. That's what we was see.
That's what we was see.
Most respectfully,
to whom this may be.
All right, so I'm back with you. I had to show that. I had to interview that young man from my community. Yeah, my community. And I'm very proud of them. And they know that. They know that I will always put them on the spotlight, especially when they're doing something good. I will put them on the spotlight and I would highlight the good things that the young men in my community is doing any day. And when I got the news that they would have won that tournament, the South Basketball League tournament, I was really, really proud of them. And I decided that I would highlight it this evening, on Constructive Talk. So much is happening in Trinidad and Tobago and by extension the world that sometimes you don't know where to start. Sometimes he doesn't know what to do, what to see. So today, I first of all, over the weekend, we got some sad news over the weekend. Over the weekend, we saw where there was some murders happening on Sutton Street. A young man got murdered. Where again, we saw that there was a murder in Chaguanas. A young lady got murdered. They shot her and threw her out of a car. Also, we saw where I think I heard another murder somewhere else, but there are some murders that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago that I hope that the authorities are taking stock and realizing that we are in a state of emergency. I just want to say this. We are in a state of emergency. And murders are happening in this country as if nothing is, like if life goes on as normal. That could never be right. That could never be right. I am sorry, but that could never ever be right. So, I'm watching, I'm looking on and seeing what's going on. And I really hope that people would I saw this morning, we heard of this morning, they said it's a house invasion. They said it was a home invasion. I don't know how true it was, but they're saying that it was a home invasion. A couple in Penal would have lost their life. Again, under a state of emergency. Under a state of emergency, persons lost their life. And why I keep saying that? Because, this government make us believe that a state of emergency is the beginning and end it all to crime, because they felt as though they were they had the answers, and the answers was the state of emergency. Even when they were in opposition, they gave this country the impression as though a state of emergency. They were telling the government back then to call a state of emergency to try and deal with crime. And now we're seeing where it is not that easy. It's not that easy. So I am just looking on, hoping that, things do change. Right? I really do hope that there is a change, that there's something that can happen, because it's not nice what we're seeing happening in our nation. It's not people. We're talking about a husband and a wife, a husband and wife. You know what I mean? And I think that is something that we need to look at. Government need to look at and sit down. Don't tell me about a 10-point crime plan. Do it. Don't come with a 10-point crime plan telling us that there's a 10-point crime plan, and when we're looking for the 10-point crime plan, it's nowhere in existence. It's nowhere. We're not seeing it, Mr. Alexander. Mr. Alexander, there's no 10-point crime plan. Start your 10-point crime plan, please. Start it. Put things in place for your 10-point crime plan. Because clearly your 10-point crime plan isn't working. It hasn't started as yet. It needs to start. Please and thanks. It needs to start. I saw a video in San Fernando over the weekend. There was a video of a young man being beaten because he stole somebody gold chain. Right by Carlton Center. Look where, clearly from San Fernando. You will try to steal a gold chain by Carlton Center. Sorry, I saw he got some licks that, it's sad. So he got some licks. Yeah, he got some licks. Rare licks, too. So, really and truly, we're watching what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago. We are concerned about what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. If you are not concerned, then I don't know what to say. But I am concerned about what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago. Over the weekend also, well, from Friday, we were getting reports about the army getting some training from the U.S. government. And that was a talking point for some people over the weekend. It was a talking point for some people over the weekend. Why? Because, let's be real, there are some things that just not adding up. And the people have been asking the government to come out and tell us what is going on. Maybe it's a top secret, maybe it's confidential, but the more you all keep it confidential, is the more persons are worried. As the more you are allowing citizens to come up with their own conspiracy theory. And there are some conspiracy theories out there that, come on, you all need to clear up the misinformation out there, because there are some conspiracy theorists that will come up with their own ideas of what they think is going on. Right? There are some conspiracy theorists out there that will come up with their own ideas. So what we asking you to do, Ms. Bissessa and the government, what we asking, right? We are asking you to clear up some of the misinformation that is being put in the public domain. You are not clearing it up. So the US is here doing some training. So they're doing some training. Since when, you see, in January, Donald Trump said that he wasn't going to do this anymore. Some of you can remember. But there were news stories and news articles where Donald Trump said that he wasn't going to do this anymore. He had cut the budget for this. Who is paying for this? Who is paying for that training that is happening? Because Donald Trump said, and don't start me because I'll pull up the articles and show you. Donald Trump would have said to the Caribbean and to the world that he is not doing any more of those things with the Caribbean. You all remember that? You all remember that? Okay. But all of a sudden now we're seeing where, and some people are, others are saying, some people are putting the dots together. And because you are not clarifying, Prime Minister, the information, you are leaving people to create their own stories. So, this thing with no parties or no events at the Brian Lara Stadium, there are some people who are saying there's much more to that. Is it that the American government told you that keep the Brian Lara Stadium clear so that if there is an emergency, the Brian Lara Stadium can be a safe space? Asking for a friend. Because the Brian Lara Stadium is one of the biggest stadiums in South. So people are asking, what is the reason why what it is? You see, you're creating doubt in people's minds. You're creating stress, Madam Prime Minister. So I'm asking, and we are genuinely asking supporters of the government, please ask your leader to clarify some of the information for us. Because this military drill, when you listen tonight on the news and you hear what are some of the things entailed in the drill, if buildings are why would buildings be what do you call it? Like overthrown or taken over? What's happening? What's happening? There are too many unanswered questions. Too many, and people are asking, people are worried, people are wondering what is going on, just like with the murders. Too many women are being murdered in our country, and there are no answers to these questions. In the sense that what it is, you actually see the whole footage. The whole footage of how a young man on certain street get murdered. The whole footage you're seeing. Huh? I'm sure by tomorrow you will see footage of the young lady. We are concerned, Mr. Minister of Homeland Security. The nation would like for you to roll out your 10-point plan. Please and thanks. And Prime Minister, this whole training session with the American government that they themselves said to us that they were not going to continue to do because they didn't have the money to do it. They did not. Donald Trump said that they do have the money, so they had to cut back. All of a sudden now, who is paying for this? Who is paying for this? And members of the media, my media colleagues, I'm asking you all, ask these potent questions. They cannot pay public servants on time, but you are paying for, who is paying for this training that the soldier, because Donald Trump done tell you already he do have the money. So who is paying for this? Who? Who? So I am asking these questions. The people in the public domain want to know, and we want to know. Who is paying for the training for these soldiers? Number one. Number two, Minister of Homeland Security, when are you going to roll out your 10-point plan? Don't tell me a 10-point plan is first one is SOE. What is your 10-point plan? Going behind a microphone and threatening people and telling them bring their guns in, X, Y, and Z is not, let me tell you something. That is not going to scare anybody. Nobody's afraid of you. Nobody is mortally afraid of you. Cool? So, Minister of Homeland Security, let's do this thing now. Bring back some kind of, you all said that you all have the plan. People believe that this SOE is not working. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Google. I am listening to the program. Let me be a little
just now,
specific.
Hold 1 minute. Just now, I just want to put in my headphones here. Yeah, caller.
Yes, sir. Pleasant good evening to you and all your listeners. Effective of the 20th of January 2025, all exercises were suspended indefinitely. The question I am asked, and I continue to ask, who is funding it? And here's the next question. How come senior members of the Defense Force don't know anything about this exercise? Don't tell me something that is hosting, because when they're hosting something like this, a tournament or a competition, there is invite neighboring countries. We are a pawn in a chess game on time. Because God forbid any one of these ships on them strike at that country, that neighboring country. The forces here and what they have here is going to be responding and giving aid and assistance. Here's the question. The cargo plane that touched down in the country close 7 to 8 weeks ago. Have this cargo plane been unloaded? The equipment from the vessel that was transported when they shut down Point Lisas for 2 days. Where's this equipment? Where is it being housed? Because you can't tell in engineering battalion in South, because engineering battalion can't house all those different things. Are these things already in the stadium? And I rest my case at that.
Wow. 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 You all heard what the caller said? Those of you who are listening, you all heard what our caller said? Wow. Wow. Somebody taking us for fools. And what's the big secret? People will see those things.
letter is just for you. My intention was to give you this letter when election was true. But since Dr. Rowley was stepping down, I figured I couldn't wait. I'm reading it now.
I'm reading it now.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
I hear people say the PNM wasting the nation's time. I hear people say the UNC will scrape every line.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Pastor Google. And Pastor Google, you're not really sad about it. It has this man who is a minister, right? Then you point him a minister in the minister house and have nothing else good to say about the former prime minister, tell him that the people fire him. He wasn't fired, he retired. But you have nothing else to do, so...
But I don't even know why are they responding to he. Anybody in their right mind will know that he's not making any sense.
You know, sometimes when you read these comments on the Facebook page, I'm like, I just ask myself, social media is a curse, you know. I don't know, sometimes I feel, no, I understand why China say that they're going to license bloggers and you have to have a certificate to blog now. Because you see these idiots and them who comment on air and making their videos and catching and making out of time and statement by VAPs. Just like these trippings with the HJC situation with the St. Vincent Prime Minister. And now I hear some talks now that some of them going to the island to go and campaign for the other side.
Well, it's not a talk. I think it is factual. I saw the pictures.
I get headache, you know. Older, what business it is older to go and campaign in St. Vincent for the other side. So I see in a pattern right now. Anyhow, don't forget, Pastor Google, I witnessed with the video with the transit system, we can show it to the people. You know, perhaps when they reach 800. So if you have time, I can show the video again, please. For people to remember that.
But there's so much thing to play tonight. I want to deal with Dr. Rowley. So, because I want to play back some of the things that he would have said today.
Okay. But if possible, please now, alright? So people will understand what they miss.
Alright.
And then I have no shame to go to back these people again, but I don't know, no? But I have no shame, sure, I guess I'm disappointed in all this. And to be unions. I witnessed see what's going on with the outcome of that election. I waiting to see the date because Mr. Fally ain't called the election date as yet. You see? You have a good night, Pastor Google.
Same to you. So those of you who are on the live, you can share the live. Because tonight, before I get into Dr. Rowley, I want to deal with something that I don't know. Somebody could tell me. It's fool. People are being fooled, so why? Huh? Nobody is talking about this. It even make the news. It did not even make the news tonight. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? So take a look at this. Lord Father. Take a look at this. Let me tell you something now. This did not even make the news. I didn't hear it on any media house. None. Take a look at this.
Threatened over 500 jobs in HGC. That is how they take care of you. Brothers and sisters, there is sun on the horizon. Threatened over 500 jobs in HGC. That is how they take care of you. Brothers and sisters, there is sun on the horizon. Threatened over 500 jobs in HGC. That is how they take care of you. Brothers and sisters, there is sun on the horizon. Threatened over 500 jobs in HGC. That is how they take care of you. Brothers and sisters, there is sun on the horizon.
See, so you all heard that, right? You all heard that? You all heard what happened over the weekend, right? You all aware of what took place over the weekend? Asking for a friend. Are you all aware of what took place over the weekend? So Friday, people went to work. And when they went to work, they got after 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, they call them in and hand them letters. Hello, good afternoon. Good morning. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Come.
Hello? You're breaking up, caller. Hello?
People are not, you're not hearing. Yes.
Pardon?
Hello.
Yes?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes. Toronto.
Caller? Hello?
Yeah. And the people when they're speaking.
They're not hearing me.
I'm hearing you too high, but the callers, you're not hearing.
You're not hearing the callers when they're speaking?
No. So I don't know. No.
And some couldn't choose. Greetings to you, Prime Minister. This letter is just for you. My intention was to give you this letter when election was true. But since Dr. Rowley was stepping down, I figured I couldn't wait. I'm reading it now.
I'm reading it now.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
I hear people say the PNM wasting the nation's time. I hear people say the UNC go scrape every last dime. And some couldn't choose between bad and worse, so I had to write this plea for the next leader of this country.
Cause we need to see
a nation full of success. We need a leader addicted to progress. Someone who's not here for the money and always giving us transparency. A leader with a clear...
All right. So the caller is saying that persons who calling in you're not hearing the callers. But I went back to listen to the live, and I'm hearing the callers on the live. So, those of you who are on the live, are you all hearing the callers or you're not hearing the callers? All right. So just tell me yes or no. Because I just went back on YouTube. I forward the feed. I went and I was hearing the callers. So I don't know. You all need to tell me if you're hearing the callers or not, because I just heard the callers. So please indicate on the live if you all are hearing the callers, not me, you know. All right, let me know if you are hearing the callers, because the caller just called, the last caller called to say that we are not hearing the callers. So you all please let me know if you all are hearing the callers. All right, not me, because I know all are hearing me. But let me know if you all are hearing the callers. Right, so what I was playing for you a while ago, somebody said yes, very low. But I just listened to a caller. You all need to raise the volume on your set or something. Because I just played some callers I heard. So I don't know. Somebody said, yes, I'm hearing the callers. Yes. Yes, tell her it is her. All right. So I just want to make sure. Maybe somebody just trying to, I don't know. Let me just say anything. I don't want to say anything just yet. But I personally went back and listened to the recording, and I'm hearing callers loud too. So when a caller said they're hearing them very soft, or they're hearing them soft, I don't know. All right, so callers, if you're calling in, you have to call and talk in your phone so that persons could hear you. I can't raise you too loud because you'll be distorted. Hello, good evening. All right. Caller hang up. All right, good. Okay, good. Having a... All right. So I don't know who is that. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. You have to talk up, because people are saying that you all are talking too soft.
No, I am hearing the callers loud. Very
okay.
Loud.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
okay then, bye. So I don't know. The person who called just now, you need to check your device because I don't know why you're not hearing. Somebody said, yes, I'm hearing the callers. Okay, who's this? All right, no. I'm not taking any video calls. Hello, good evening.
Good night, Google. I hear you loud and clear, but you hear me?
I don't know. Why you just waste your time, boy? Why you just waste your time? I don't understand. All right. So, I want to show you all. So, to those of you who missed it.
Threaten over 500 jobs in HDC. That is how they take care of you. Brothers and sisters, there is sun on the horizon. Threaten over 500 jobs in HDC. That is how they take care of you. Brothers and sisters, there is sun on the horizon.
So, take a look at this. 10,000 plus CPEP contractors, CPEP workers going home, forestry workers going home. Who is this here? 4,000 URP workers, 400, going home. And now HTC workers going home. Who next? Who is next? All right? Who is next? So, yeah, what now? I don't hear anything about this. Nothing you are hearing about that situation. Nothing. All right? Nothing you are hearing. So, really and truly, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But Trinidad and Tobago, wake up.
I want to start by reading a quote for you that is trending online now. Someone sent it to me and I saw it so many times. I think it's good for us to read this quote. I'm sure when I start to read it, you will be familiar with it. It says, out of hatred for the cockroach, the ants voted for the insecticide. Out of hatred for the cockroach, the ants voted for the insecticide. They all died, big on in the tail, including the housefly that didn't even vote. They all died, including the housefly that didn't even vote. It says an African proverb, but it could be a Trinidadian and Tobagonian proverb. It is so true.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Google. You hearing me clear now?
I was hearing you the first time.
No, well, apparently some of the people on the live didn't hear me now. Find out if they hear me.
Okay, let me see if they're hearing you. Let me ask them. Are you all hearing the caller? So you all can indicate yes or no if you're hearing the caller. All right? So, yes, somebody said yes, they're hearing you. Yes, they're hearing you.
Right. So, question. In the space of military exercise, last month and this month, where we had, they came in and they said they're here to do a little exercise and they're going to help paint schools and work in schools. A cargo plane came into the country, a U.S. Army cargo plane came into the country and went into a hangar. Did this cargo plane leave? Did the cargo on this plane come off the plane? Why the port was shut down for 2 days to remove military-grade equipment with a big escort, TTPS escort? Why they could speak to everybody else and they can't speak to the people? How the Attorney General could speak to the United Kingdom and tell them that they are going to be having exercise with the U.S. Marines and Trinidad, but when the John public asks a question or some of these media personnel ask a question, they're being danced around. Why are we still putting up with this foolishness? Because first thing first, right? There's something called Match and Shoot, which is a tournament hosted by the relevant department, whether it's the Defense Force, Coast Guard, whoever the case may be. You have an inter-department tournament, and where now we just bring people from neighboring countries to come and partake in this exercise. And this will be public knowledge. Why are we not hearing from the people that is elected to govern the country for us? We are just sitting ducks right now because, God forbid, an attack is launched at them. Who is here? They are here to respond and to give aid and give assistance, you know. Imagine in Valencia, Arima, Valencia, today, you're seeing 3 choppers flying around. That's part of the exercise, or once you hit Valencia, you know you're going on the coastline. What is really going on? What is going on? Why are we just sitting down here and not asking the right questions? They're waiting for something to happen because, God forbid, we get up in the morning and the whole country don't bound to have electricity, you know. Or you ain't bound to get up at all. You might hear a loud explosion and jump up and you have to cover yourself. people who are locked on and listening, I'm going to say this. All your documents, get a Ziploc bag, put it in it. Pack a bag, a to-go bag, an emergency bag, and have it there, especially people in San Fernando. Trust you me, it will come like a quiet in the night like a thief, Because imagine you can't even go wrong the stadium right now, eh?
The Ballard Stadium?
Right? Try and go close to it now. Try and go close to it now. If a construction was going on there, nobody even know nothing. And the construction was going on there for a little over 2 months. A little over 2 months. It is easy access to the highway. It is easy access to run down to Point Fortin. There was one of the trailers that came off of the port. On the trailer had a truck on it. On the flatbed had a truck on it. I wonder if people know what that truck is about. That's the truck that has assembled the launchers on it. The heavy containers, the containers is military grade ammunition inside of it. That might have that big escort, right? I'm gone because I'm talking too much.
But
before you
go, you made a statement first. When you came on first about the stadium, and you would have indicated to the listeners that why nobody can go close to the stadium.
Look, I want to know where if I'm not going to the stadium, where are you doing there? Whatever is going on inside the stadium, some public don't know. There's a portion of the stadium being blocked off. A portion of the stadium being facilitated, being equipped to do certain things. Listen to me, right? And I'm going to answer this. I have been in the party industry for a number of years. I've worked events there. The residents in Turuba, when they now started having events, they used to complain about the noise, right?
Right.
So they now angle the boxes. They now angle the boxes at a different angle. Now, for a lot of people who don't know, when you're going and do a party, you have to apply. You have to go to the EMA, and they put out a petition. Anybody objecting to the noise or whatever the case may be. Once that is approved, you apply for your bar license, and then you apply for what you call a neighborhood license. The revenue from keeping events there is what's supposed to maintain the grounds there, right?
Thank you.
And they're talking about kind of foolishness. There's much of foolishness they're talking about. They're using noise pollution as an excuse. Okay, so what are you indicating, noise pollution? So then the trucks, the music trucks on the road for Carnival, going to be limited. The fats on them going to be limited. So if you have a private event at your private residence, then now it's going to be locked off at a certain time.
Yep.
Because when the EMA going about it, once you have a neighborhood license and a dance or license to keep an event, you function between a certain hour because your license permits you for that. Right? What does create some noise at the Turuba Stadium is when they had the Juve party now and they're using the roadway for the trucks to go up and down. Right? And some of the residents who live in Turuba just come across and go and partake in the fete on them.
Oh.
It's not making sense. So you're going to shut down the first and last party that's keeping the stadium as well too. You're going to shut down the children's show with us being Marvin Lee Stadium.
Never.
You're going to shut down the car show and then with us at the Boland Stadium.
Never.
I'm asking. Okay. The San Fernando mayor come and advertise and say here is what?
Skinner Spark
is open to event. Skinner's Park is open to event, you'll be told we have Coconut Drive. Right? Would that music going to be hitting? From in the park in the night time because sound travel by night.
Brethren, I live in Pleasantville.
Something in the park to play to the hospital.
Brethren, I live in Pleasantville. I just hear Skinner's Park from Pleasantville.
Google, here I get and say for your Google. And when I say this here, then it might catch on. Google, we used to keep party on the short street in the Ville. And people in the hospital used to complain. Are gone.
Thank you.
The person who you're talking to now.
Yeah, man. Wow. So Trinidad and Tobago, we need to wake up. We need to wake up and stop sleeping. You all are sleeping. So today, Dr. Rowley had a press conference. And let me say, from the onset on CNC3 News, Dr. Rowley take over the whole news. I don't know what happened on TTT. I don't know what happened on TV6. But I could talk for CNC3 News. Dr. Rowley rule. The doc rule in CNC3 News today. Rule. He run things. But I want to play some things that jumped out at me from his press conference. Then I'm going to play some things from the news. And then I'm going to take your calls and let's discuss some of the things that Dr. Rowley, former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, would have highlighted today at this press conference. Take a listen to this. This was one of the things that jumped out at me.
And I maintain a foreign policy where my Minister Brown and Minister Moses, have carried a lot of it. And we understand it. The PNM understands it. And that is why today, when I see neophytes playing Bajan and putting Trinidad and Tobago at risk, I ask myself, who have they interacted with? What have they read? What do they understand of this situation other than what they might have heard on the news? So we just jumping along, hoping that if rainfall, we'll walk through the raindrops. That's where we are right now. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has given up all our protection and has taken a position of military outcome that is dangerous to Trinidad and Tobago, dangerous beyond comprehension. That is the issue in front of us today. And that is what should be the narrative of this country today. That is what should be the conversation in this country today, whither goes Trinidad and Tobago in the event that Washington decides to attack Venezuela. Because Trinidad and Tobago has played a role already and put itself in a position in that matter. And it's not a good position. The second thing I want to mention very briefly, I want to alert the population to what is likely to happen. I see the government talking about reopening the refinery. We will be very happy if the refinery is reopened because we all want it to be reopened in operation. But as they speak about reopening the refinery, the conversation is very hush-hush. Nobody has said to us that they found somebody with a supply of crude. I want to let the population of Trinidad and Tobago be reminded. The PNM government did not shut down the refinery because we didn't like Roger, or we didn't like the OWTU, or we didn't like refineries in general. It is the PNM that bought that refinery from Texaco. It is the PNM that kept it alive as our economic well-being. So don't talk nonsense about the PNM shut down the refinery because some other, you hear all kind of nonsense that fake oil and Rowley didn't want his partner Bash to get in trouble, so he shut down the refinery. That is the kind of nonsense that came from the Prime Minister in office today. That was her opposition story. We shut down the refinery because our local oil production was too low. We were buying oil to refine it. We were buying it at 100,000 barrels per day. It had to be paid for on many instances from the Treasury. And that is why today, as I speak to you, the Treasury is still servicing over 400 million US dollars from the Treasury that went to buy oil to be refined, and we were losing money by the billions of dollars. Those are the facts. So if we do not see in the statements coming to us from the government a credible supply of oil to make the refinery opening viable commercially, what you will be seeing is the government of the UNC attempting to attach Paria to the refinery as a project for reopening, where whoever gets that refinery or that arrangement, they get Paria. When we restructured Petrotrin, we created Paria as a state company, standalone state company, that bought and sold refined fuel, and therefore we gave them the local market and the regional market. This is the same UNC that created Section 34. It's the same UNC that created SIS as the biggest company in Trinidad and Tobago in government contracts. Paria attached to some intention to reopen the refinery is not sufficient for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Because what they are planning to do is to attach Paria to Guaracaria, give you that package, and everybody will be happy and hail. Long time we should have do this. We want the refinery reopened. And then once they do that, whoever is the commercial financier of that will very soon, without a supply of oil, shut off interest in the refinery and ball it again, if it ever is open at all. And they then end up with Paria. And Paria is a business that makes over $100 or even $200 million profit for the state. So the state loses that. But whoever gets it, they get the business of the local market supplying NP, and they get the business of buying and selling to the Caribbean region, what Paria is doing now. Understand that I want the population to understand that. You have given these people the option to do that, and they are actively preparing to do it. I'm telling it up front so that you will know if it happens, or to let them know that we know what they're doing, and ask them to turn their gaze somewhere else. Because when the fuel supply in this country falls into private hands, and the owners of the supply are the ones who will determine the price that you pay for fuel, then you will know where barley grew. $1 off is quite okay, takes the pressure off some people, but that was part of our policy to reduce the subsidies that was suffocating the country. When you go to the IMF, as we are heading to the IMF, when we get there, as we will, that becomes another matter. But in the meantime, if Paria is allowed to fall into private or quasi-private hands, that is the outcome that's going to be. And the last point I want to make is on the question of the government's silence on what is happening at FCB. And I tell you that because I was there at the birth of FCB. FCB is one of the children of the PNM, created as a bank.
We go reach the FCB just now, Doc. Just now, we go talk about the FCB. Just now. What are your thoughts, boy? Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Oli again is predicting, he is saying, based on how he see things going, and you know he will get a little zappy, he will get a little talk. He still have people working in Paris and thing who give me little information. How you all feel, Trinidad and Tobago, about what the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, just said? How you all feel about that? What are your thoughts about it? I go play the FCB just now. But we dealing with Paria, we dealing with the refinery. Doc said some things that I don't know. Are you all worried about it? What are your thoughts? You need to call 464-7003. 464-7003. That is the number to call. 464-7003. That's the number. All right? Remember, if you want to get through, anybody can type it on the live. Type it on the live and let people know. If you want to get into the program, you have to call 464-7003. 464-7003. That's the number to call. All right? So you need to call that number to get onto Constructive Talk. What are your thoughts about what Dr. Rowley said? How you feeling? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Pastor Google. You're not coming in early.
Tell me, what are your thoughts?
And everything Dr. Rowley said was a God's truth. Yeah, so what I'm saying, I believe, and he put us on notice.
Yeah.
I remember I used to call and tell you that I find the Prime Minister staying too long to address us. I find she ain't treating us with that kind of contempt. You know what I mean? And I personally, I may not have voted for you, but you're the Prime Minister, not of the UNC, but of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Yeah, son, and that's my problem. So I'm going to call you on today, but I wanted to listen to the press conference before.
Right.
So I say, well, so I'll listen to what the other people are saying. So, but my problem is, I just find the disrespect, but I can't take it no.
Yeah,
so you
have plenty more to get.
And if you, and not only that, look the media. You know whatever the issue is, Dr. Rowley saying the office of the former Prime Minister or whatever.
Yeah, the office of the former Prime Minister.
I can't understand if there's an issue.
Yeah, that's a
question. Better than the Prime Minister. At least he called a press conference and telling us something. She ain't saying nothing.
No.
I'll go on.
Yeah,
right,
thank you very much. All right. Yeah, that was a big question. Why use the office of the former Prime Minister? But that's not his title. He's not the former Prime Minister. Yeah. Better than that, yeah. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir.
Pastor Google. St. Vincent election is at the end of the month. You see all this thing? Yes, so you see all this gathering with all this soldiers and all this camp. My brothers and sisters in St. Vincent, if you all make the mistake and move the red party and put in the yellow, you will end up like how we end up here. Right now, the light is on, but nobody is home. My Prime Minister has disappeared. My National Security Minister, they have here and here. The Foreign Affairs Minister, we in a mess. I don't think all they want to go yellow because Pastor Google, if they are able to move Ralph Gonzalez, that is the biggest noise in the Caribbean. Besides Barbados and Jamaica, Ralph Gonzalez has number of little islands along with him, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And he has the heirs of the English Parliament. If they are able to remove that fella with the election, Trump is going to carry out his activities. That's why you see as Roberts and all of them jump on this issue. We in for a long ride. But I call for something else. Oh, this thing with the Prime Minister. Somewhere along the line when the former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, was in office, they had some issue with gasoline. And one of the largest, how to put it, company, one of the companies that own most of the service station in Trinidad and Tobago. I guess you should know that company by name. They went to the minister, I think of energy, or was it the minister of finance at the time, the prime minister? Can't remember, but that they want to import their own fuel. And they wanted the government to regulate the price of oil go up in the morning, the price of gas go up in the morning. If oil go down in the evening, the price of gasoline goes down in the evening. And because their profit margin, their argument is their profit margin, based on what they are being paid by the state, was too small. And they say, well, you all have these little side cafes, so that should be able to help offset some of your whatever it is. And the argument ended there. So when the Prime Minister made the statement about there is no oil, because they're not telling me who is coming to purchase the refinery, what are they coming with? And if they throw in barrier along with the sale of the refinery, they are selling out the independence Trinidad and Tobago government have the authority to sell gasoline at a subsidized price. You understand that, Pastor Google?
Loud and clear.
One group of people or one company or a group of people who tell you we're going to buy the refinery, but the government showing in this. And when they done, there are no oil, so they say, well, forget that. But I'm making millions on selling gasoline in Trinidad and Tobago citizens, and I'm making millions selling it across the Caribbean. And here we're going on. The government then will tell you, well, here we're going on. We hands out of that, because John Paul selling gas, we don't, so we could take away the subsidy. You understand my point? Enjoy your night.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I'm taking your calls. 464-7003. We're discussing what Dr. Rowley said about the selling of the refinery and stuff like that. Hello, good evening.
Hey, Pastor, that caller before, the man said everything perfectly. Privatization, all of the subsidies, that is what coming. The man said it very, very perfectly. And Pastor, people like that wake up, right? 2015 to 2020, Mr. Rowley and his last regime was trying to really, how you could put it, boy, they was really fiscalize this country properly. They was doing an audit in this country properly, right? Because remember, before, the last regime went on a wild spree. They didn't renew any gas contracts. And I want to pause there before I continue. I hope the nation listened to what Dr. Rowley said about the cubic feet of gas. We are going into the reserves. So once in the reserves now, right, that means there's not enough gas to go around to sell. So you have to consider now keeping your gas to who is very important. And he kept mentioning TNTech. But he said the other industries on the Point Lisa side, they will have very big difficulties in even operational cost. And we don't have any solution in getting gas right now. Because as far as we know, the Dragon deal is dead. But we had a previous government before 2015 that went spending all the money. Crazy. Put us into a big $60 billion deficit, right? In a 5-year span. Today, look what's happening. The only outcome that as a young person is privatization is coming. And once that is coming, I am saying it as the Prime Minister put it, the former Prime Minister put it clearly today. The IMF is coming at our doors. As clear, as bright as day, they are coming at our doors. Trinidad and Tobago, this is our reckoning, and we have to face it. And all the little pensioners and them who sitting back on their hammock and rocking back and saying, well, we have stash to know we could weather the storm. Well, when you pay your thing on FCB, let me see what storm, even our pensioners who we should be cherishing, who we should be thanking for our hard days work for so many years, they contribute to this country. When they see their money, they kakada going into dust. Anyhow, Pastor, have a good one.
Thank you very much. Right, taking your calls 464-7003, 464-7003. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
I'd like to say two things. First, congratulations to the guys from Pleasantville.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, keeping the torch shining for the South. We know South have a lot of good players. Also, to people that always strive, try with the youths. Ayu from Lumsden.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Oswald James.
You know Ayo?
Never forget the youth. How you mean if I know Ayo? The big dread, yeah, man.
But Ayo taught me basketball, you know.
I used to watch all year. I was a footballer, but I used to come and watch on the court. And I used to come and watch, man.
Yeah, man. I grew up in Lumsden. I grew up part of my youth life in Lumsden, Alma Trace. And Ayo taught me basketball.
The best fellas of them deserve the flowers, but people like they give them the flowers in night football and think Ayo.
Yes.
It's a running night football.
Yes. Yes, he did.
I was one of the stars of night football.
Okay, man. Well, then we should know each other.
Yeah, I think he passed. I Google when I come in next time I will let you know. We're gonna
I'll appreciate that.
Yeah, but the next thing I want to know is to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, whatever discussions you had with the US when it comes to the situation, I choose my words very carefully, the situation with America and Venezuela. I want to know if, and I think you should come out and tell the public, if anything should happen, what are the guarantees you have that the people of Trinidad and Tobago are going to be secured? And if the US is going to stay there for a period of time, my prediction is that they're going to have a US base in Trinidad for a very long time.
Wow.
For a very long time, because, it's like, David and Goliath and Ethan and Goliath. David is standing out here. We small.
Yeah.
We minute.
Yeah.
And them fellas are bigger than we. So whatever you're doing or how you're doing, we don't agree with you, but make sure that you're putting things in place to protect the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Right? Secure the people of Trinidad and Tobago. To make sure that we have somewhere to come back to and to look forward to. Because them people saying that we was once part of them. Don't forget that.
Yep.
With all the abuses, abuse we and all kind of thing when we go to fish. But I just want somewhere to come back to.
Yeah, man.
Have a good night. Always listening. Always listening, my brother. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you. And before I go, you remember the pastor who was saying that he had a dream. And when he said he dreamed Kamala win or something like that, and the man say, hey, I'm going to give you the key, but before I give you the key, I want you to make sure that you give me what you're supposed to give me, because the last time you didn't give me what Pastor Google.
I need to find back that.
God is listening, program people. Let them people listen.
Yeah.
See what's going on. Pray.
Yeah. I will find back that video.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much.
Over here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Thank you.
We are all behind, but I'm listening.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, I remember that. What I call her talking about. The pastor talk about that he had a vision, and he saw that in the vision. Well, yeah, don't play with people, you know. Well, yeah, don't play. So we taking your calls 464-7003, 464-7003. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening to your listeners and callers. Pastor Google, I want to juxtapose my narrative this evening with an analogy. And it has to do with the desal plant that supplies 40% water to the southern areas, to Plebdeco, and the balance goes to Wassa. You may recall, Pastor Google, that between 2010 and 2015, that desal plant was jointly owned by a number of people, inclusive of one from some people from America. And it was eventually bought out very quietly by a family consortium in Trinidad. And they were given a 24-year contract to supply water. You recall that, Pastor Google?
Yep.
We never knew about it until after the election. It was very quietly signed, and that still continues. And then eventually they came and they indicated that they wanted to be paid in US simply because that they had most of the stuff that they had to put in the water to make it potable water, had to make it, because it was seawater they were using, that they had to import it from the US, so therefore they wanted to be paid in US. And since then we have been paying this family consortium $7 million every month to run the desal plant. People have forgotten that. That contract will be up sometime in either 2034 or 2036. People would have forgotten that, but that still continues. What Dr. Rowley spoke about is almost the same thing. You see, because, Pastor, I'll tell you why. When Dr. Munilal and his sidekick, Keza, indicated that they will get the report, but Keza said he saw a copy of the report at one time, if you recall. And then just recently, after the HSSE meeting in La Hyatt, he changed his mind because, according to Dr. Munilal had not received any report as yet. So Keza had to backtrack and said, speak to the minister, don't talk to me, if you recall. And Dr. Munilal said he is waiting, he should get the report sometime this month, and that, if anything, the refinery should be able to start back in phases sometime in early next year. Not so? You heard that, right?
Yeah, I played that clip here.
Right. So I went and I made some inquiries, and I asked certain questions, and all of the answers that I got was no, not yet. Now, if you're going to start back a refinery that is in the lower end of the fourth quartile, an old refinery, if there must be some repairs be effected to at least some portion of the refinery. It's a very old refinery, there's very old lines and so on. Nothing is happening in that refinery at this time. So what are you going to do? Just start back up that refinery as it is? When the refinery was shut down and the security left the refinery, a lot of parts in that refinery, pumps and so on, was scavenged by people. People wouldn't know these things, some wouldn't remember, but a lot of things have gone missing. So therefore, some sort of repair work has to be done, some sort of money has to be spent. We are not hearing anything whatsoever from the Minister of Energy with respect to repairs. What is the process being used to perhaps lease or sell the refinery? Nothing of the sort. Because what Dr. Rowley is saying is making a lot of sense. Because if it is that they say they're going to start back the refinery, Pastor Google, that means they have to rehire at least 2,000 people. You have to have somebody with very deep pockets to do that, to hire that amount of people. Just to simply come back and start back the refinery in phases, this old refinery. So what is the best bet? Pretend to be, as Dr. Roddy rightly said, right now, Paria is running in a buy and sell sort of thing with respect to they import the gas and they sell it on the local as well as the CARICOM market. And they make a profit. They get paid in US dollars for what they sell on the CARICOM market, and they get TT dollars for what they sell on the local market. And how many people working there right now? Even 50 to 60 to 80 people, tops, right now. Small amount of people. And they are doing every single thing, and not just gauging tanks. And a lot of the tanks are old and none have been repaired. I can confirm that. So therefore, it'll be easier to come out and say, well, listen, all we prefer to do is to run the Paria section because the refinery is not that profitable. And we can't afford to hire all of these people, and we don't have money, most of all, to buy gas. Because you have to buy gas in US dollars. And before the refinery shut down, the government was a guarantor for the company because they had to borrow money because they were not making a profit. They had to borrow money in order to buy oil to run the refinery. So what Dr. Rowley is saying is making some very easy sense. Just like what happened with the desal plant. So we may very well find ourselves at a private consortium, may very well take over Paria and go into the buy and sell business and forget the rest of the refinery. And we will be given a song and dance as to who buy it and how much money they spend to purchase it, when that may not very well be true. Because this is what the UNC does under this particular leader. They take over certain things that where they can make money. And at the end of the day, you will have certain people getting extremely rich in Trinidad and Tobago, and we will have no choice but we will have to put gas in our cars. And we will be selling to the Caribbean. And that may very well be because it takes a lot of electricity and as well as natural gas to run that refinery. And the utility bill is very, 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 very high. And a lot of water too. You understand? And a lot of personnel as well. So which one easier to do? Not pretend to want to take over, buy the refinery and start it up and give them Paria because they have to sell the gas that the refinery making. But at the end of the day, because no repairs have been done to the refinery, absolutely nothing up to this day has been done. What is running in the right now? Isn't it not Paria? Isn't Paria making money? Isn't Paria making a profit just like Heritage? And no repairs to no storage tanks has been done. Absolutely none. So eventually, what is going to happen? Private enterprise, like the young fella from Paria indicated, again. And we will have no choice. We'll be left in the lurch, just like the desal plant, where one family consortium making millions of dollars selling we salt water. And this Paria is a buy and sell industry that is making a big profit every single year. And that is where we're going to end up. And they will mothball the refinery and leave that there into perpetuity. Because I am telling you, Pastor Google, unless they find somebody like what the PNM found, like Owando, who has his own oil and has his own oil business, to bring oil here, and it's a certain type of oil to run the refinery. No set of any old oil could run the refinery. You understand? And to upgrade it, so he'll employ less people and not flare the gas, the excess gas, because we are signed on to the Paris Accord, as COP is going on right now in Brazil. So the modernization of the refinery will have to take place, and you need somebody with very deep pockets to do that. Very deep. And up to now, we have not heard a word, not a word from anybody, except Peter around the mulberry bush. So we have to listen to what Dr. Rowley said earlier this morning, and takes that for what it's worth. And I'm glad that he brought it out to let everybody in Trinidad and Tobago know that you cannot, and especially me, trust Kamla Prasad Bissessa and a band of smart people. Because that is what they intend to do. They did it with the desal plant, and they will very well do it with Paria. And at the end of the day, we have no choice but to continue to put gas in the car, and there will be nothing that we can do about it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. So taking your calls, I continue to take your calls. So while we discuss what Dr. Rowley would have allowed us to know about Paria, he slipped in something that's happening at First Citizens Bank. Take a listen to Dr. Rowley.
I hope for the best. But this is not the time to have an absentee prime minister sending you tweets of nonsense and lies, and ministers. The Attorney General had a press conference last week giving the impression that he understands what is going on and he knows that something is going to happen, but he's not saying. What does he know that he's not sharing with you? And why the Attorney General is the spokesperson for this situation? This is a matter for the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody else. Nobody else. And if the Prime Minister finds that it is too prickly or too hot to handle, that should tell you all how deep in trouble we are, because it can only get worse. It didn't have to be this. Trinidad and Tobago had a protected position, and the UNC gave it up for something else. What that something else is, we don't know. Because if it never comes to regime change, what the outcome would be is that we would have created enmity in Venezuela, which threatens everything that we had in place to give us a future in the hydrocarbon business. That is that. If it comes to military action, what happens to us is as a result of what the Venezuelans do in response to the attack on them. Trinidad and Tobago is a tiny Caribbean nation in comparison to Cuba and Haiti and Santo Domingo and Jamaica. We are tiny. We are an island in the mouth of the Orinoco River. The Orinoco River runs out of Venezuela to us. We are surrounded by Venezuela land and sea. And if that is our position, it is even worse, where our lifeline, our heartbeat is out there in the ocean, exposed not only to nature, but to a nation that believes that we are encouraging an attack on their territory, or that we have done so, and in the event of a confrontation, they will see us as a combatant. And that remains with the UNC. Today, as a former Prime Minister, I call on the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago to cease and desist from exposing the future of our children and our grandchildren. I'm in a unique position. At FCB. And I tell you that because I was there at the birth of FCB. FCB is one of the children of the PNM, created as a bank when other attempts at banking had failed. FCB was created by the PNM on a morning when NCB and Workers' Bank failed, and the government had to intervene. And we took Workers' Bank, we took NCB, and we took the Penny Bank money, and we created FCB. FCB has now become one of the outstanding successes in the public sector, in the state enterprise sector, and in Trinidad and Tobago. The one statement that has come from the government so far relating to FCB is that they've appointed a chairman who they've also appointed as chairman of UDCOT. And he made a statement that in the face of some explosion in contracting that is to come, where we're going to build Dubai in Trinidad, that FCB and UDCOT will be the operating agencies and would fund this. I want to caution the country. I'm a geologist, if you will remember that, right? And in geology, there's a principle called uniformitarianism. It's a big word, but it's very simple. It means if something happened before, it is likely to happen again. The UNC came into office and they sold the first set of shares at FCB, at IPO. Total scandal, total fiasco, resulting in a member of parliament having to resign from the parliament in the Senate. Shareholding that was blocked for the workers end up in the pocket of one individual. And the chairman was forced out in a public meeting, AGM of FCB. That is the UNC's record on FCB. Today, you're hearing from the government that FCB is to be the funder of this fancy. Shares of FCB has fallen from $42 to $31. You would have seen Anthony Wilson had a very brilliant article the other day in The Guardian, I think it was, on this issue. And that is an issue that must attract the attention of the government, because the government retains the majority shareholding, express an intention to sell more shares in FCB, and the shares are so collapsed as a result of some misbehavior of the government when they try to fire the leadership. But more importantly, who is driving down the shares of FCB when the bank's performance does not warrant that? I'm asking that question today. And I'm asking the government to tell the population, people who have bought shares in FCB, who see their worth plummeting, and the government offering to sell more shares. Question: will the government sell those shares when the market has so devalued the asset? And what is the government doing to return confidence to the people of this country, the investing population, who would want their shares to return and to improve? The investing population, who would know that if FCB and UDCOT is to play this conflicted role in that program that they put out the other day, that if you are a shareholder, you are concerned about the shares you bought in FCB. And finally, serious stories, Prime Minister in hiding and nobody's answering, and the outcome could be quite disastrous for Trinidad and Tobago, quite disastrous.
FCB was offered to the public in an initial public offering under the UNC government. Minister Hawaii was the Minister of Finance at the time. And thousands of citizens bought shares in FCB. There was subsequently another public offering for FCB shares, and again, thousands of persons bought FCB shares. In the budget speech of the current Minister of Finance, he spoke to another tranche or another phase of the National Investment Fund, of NIF, which would be backed by FCB shares, a big block of FCB shares. It is therefore of concern to everyone, all the little people who invested in FCB when it was first done in 2014 or some year like that. Minister Hawaii was the Minister of Finance at the time, so it has to be around there. And people who bought FCB shares subsequently, And now that the government is saying they want to generate, I think it's about $1 billion in revenue from the sale of a block of FCB shares, that the share price has dropped by 26%. Dropped by 26% since the general election. And I have had a concern with bank shares in particular. And I don't think our stock market is sufficiently sophisticated to deal with somebody who sells 100 shares, because that's what's going on. If you care to do the research, you're going to see some of these huge drops in the price of bank shares. It started with Republic Bank, but now it has gone to FCB over the last 6 months or so. It's 100 shares, 200 shares, dropping the price by $3, $4, $5. That doesn't happen in anywhere else in the world, you know. So it is something I think the authorities need to look at.
Say that they are committed to helping this international
Well, I don't have the details on I don't have the details on what Mr. Bidesi said. It's him you're talking about, right? I don't know what he said. I've seen commentary on this, that there was some link between the revitalization blueprint and financing of all of it or some of it by FCB. I am not familiar with any of that. I am talking about the effect on the public. I'm talking about the effect on the shareholders. I'm talking about government revenue in terms of another National Investment Fund offering. It has to be frightening for a pensioner, an elderly person who put their money into FCB, to see the share price just plummet like that. You've got to be frightened, because let's say you had $200,000, you know, your gratuity or whatever it is in FCB shares. You've just lost $50,000 over the last 6 months in value. It's got to be frightening. It is a very, very serious matter. Okay, that's all I'd like to say about that.
You know, I played Dr. Rowley, and then I played Mr. Imbert to see how best you all would be shaken up or aware of what's going on. You know, I asked a question today, or I said something today, and I stand by what I said. Mr. Scotland, SC, Mr. Stuart Young, SC, all the lawyers in the PNM, we are calling on you to tell us, how can we protest legally in this country? How? How do we protest legally? Could we single file stand up outside of the Red House with tape in our mouth? Tape our mouth. And don't start maybe called tape my mouth right on this program for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or however I feel, to show signs of protest. I'll start it right here. We need to find a way to lift our voice in this country. How can we protest? How? Tell us. Single file, we outside. Is it that social media bloggers need to put tape on their mouth? We need to know what to do. Tell us. Please tell us what to do. If you have shares in FCB and you're worried, well, you just heard Mr. Com Imbert and you just heard Dr. Rowley. But I said to you earlier this evening that Dr. Rowley reigned in the news this evening. Yeah, boy. He took over the news. If you'd missed the news, well, I don't know what to say to you, but Dr. Rowley reigned in CNC3 newsroom this evening.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is tonight seeking to put allegations to rest that Trinidad and Tobago will be used by the United States as a launching pad for land strikes against Venezuela. Earlier today, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley criticized Persad-Bissessar's support of U.S. troops in the region, claiming that it has put the country at risk and in the middle of a potential war.
That's right, Ria. In a statement to CNC3 News delivered in a measured tone amid ongoing geopolitical tensions in the region, the Prime Minister assured that the people of both TNT and Venezuela are safe, emphasizing that this country will neither participate in nor allow itself to be used for any act of aggression against the Venezuelan people. While the Prime Minister has time and time again emphasized support for the U.S. military presence in the Caribbean for drug interdiction efforts, Kamla Persad-Bissessar was today adamant that this is not a case of unquestioned fealty. She told CNC3 News that this country is a sovereign state and does not blindly follow the U.S. or any bloc such as CARICOM. Now that's critical to note because while there still remains the world's largest warship floating in Caribbean waters, reminding everyone that the potential for direct conflict between the U.S. and Venezuela remains, the Prime Minister has now stated emphatically that Trinidad and Tobago's territory will not be used to launch any attacks against the people of Venezuela. And the Prime Minister has reiterated that the United States has never requested use of this country's territory to launch any attacks against the Venezuelan people. In her 10-point statement to CNC3 News, the Prime Minister on several occasions sought to underscore that this country will not participate in any act that will bring harm to the Venezuelan people. Kamla Persad-Bissessar is also seeking to assure that this country's infrastructure and its citizens are not at risk as the government is not a participant of any aggression against the citizens of the Latin American nation. Persad-Bissessar said this country's support of the U.S. military presence is for its suppression of gun, human and narco trafficking, and reiterated that her government will not shy away from supporting international partners committed to this cause. Persad-Bissessar said the current partnership with the U.S. military for training exercises is as a result of the Status of Forces Agreement or SOFA arrangement that she said former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley signed when he was, quote, entranced with former U.S. Ambassador Candace Bond. Now, one interesting thing to note from the Prime Minister's statement today is that she said this country supports the selection of leaders through free and fair democratic elections. Now, the U.S. is adamant that Nicolas Maduro is not the legitimate president of Venezuela. When asked again by CNC3 News today if this country's government recognizes Nicolas Maduro as the president of Venezuela, the PM would only say that her previous comment is self-explanatory.
But earlier today, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley warned that Trinidad and Tobago has become a soft target in the event of any U.S. military action against Venezuela, arguing that the country's offshore gas platforms could be among the first casualties.
His remarks came as he defended the Status of Forces Agreement he renewed with Washington in 2024, insisting it contains no provisions for regime change, military intervention, or the establishment of a foreign base. Doris Polo and Tika Singh reports.
As U.S. Marines conduct military exchanges with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is moving to clarify what he calls misinformation surrounding the Status of Forces Agreement he renewed last year.
There's absolutely nothing in the Status of Forces Agreement to permit any commitment from Trinidad and Tobago to breach the UN Charter to intervene military in any of our neighbors or anywhere in the world. Absolutely not so at all. Anybody from the government saying that, it is a lie.
He argued that if Trinidad and Tobago is now seen as aligned to the United States in any future confrontation with Venezuela, that perception is the result of decisions made by the current government, not his administration.
There's nothing in any document that I'm aware of which prevents the sovereign government of Trinidad and Tobago from saying yes or no to any request coming from any country if we believe that it jeopardizes our sovereignty or puts our vulnerability to the test.
He also delivered a blistering criticism of the Prime Minister's handling of the issue.
We have a Bajan Prime Minister who doesn't go to work, doesn't talk to the media, don't care who she fire, don't care who gets a job, but she bad. This is not carnival. This is not a joke. It's all well and good for the Prime Minister to stay home and hide and talk stupidness through buffoons. But our life is involved here now.
Dr. Rowley warned that Trinidad and Tobago's critical energy infrastructure, much of it just 60 miles offshore, would be highly exposed if the region becomes militarized.
If a threat like that comes to us, a credible threat, that those platforms are in fact legitimate targets, those international companies will do one thing. They'll remove their staff from the platform. Once they come off the platform, it shuts down the gas supply to Trinidad and Tobago. And that shuts down Point Lisas, it shuts down the Atlantic LNG plant, and it shuts down every factory in Trinidad and Tobago, because it would have shut down TNTech.
He also said contemporary conflict no longer begins with troops, but with drones, missiles, and cyber attacks, tools that could cripple the country long before any physical confrontation.
They have sacrificed our neutrality in matters of this nature, and they put us in a very, very vulnerable position. So vulnerable that if it comes to a shooting war off our coast, we are defenseless, and our economy is defenseless. Do we, as a government, as a people, genuinely believe that those platforms out there, that the Americans will remain there with their submarine and their aircraft carrier and their planes and their helicopters to protect us from Venezuela for the next month, the next year? Because these things have a way of going on for years.
Now, Dr. Rowley welcomed recent signals from U.S. President Donald Trump about potential talks with Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, but he warned that Washington's position can change overnight. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
See what I tell all you? Dr. Rowley was reigning in CNC3 News. Listen to this.
Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal is hailing the removal of U.S. import tariffs on nitrogen fertilizers such as ammonia and urea as a game-changing development for Trinidad and Tobago. Earlier this year, exports of those items faced tariffs of up to 15%. On November 14th, those duties were eliminated following an order by the U.S. government. Dr. Munilal explains what this means for the country's energy sector.
This move not only secures one of Trinidad and Tobago's most important foreign exchange earnings industries, but also reinforces our country's position as a reliable supplier within the global fertilizer supply chains.
On a broader level, the Energy Minister says it strengthens Trinidad and Tobago's exports, underscoring that the nation's natural gas-based fertilizer production remains competitive and critical to key international markets, including one of TNT's most valued trading partners, the United States. However, opposition MP Stuart Young is accusing the government of misleading citizens over the removal of the tariffs. He says the decision by the United States had nothing to do with the Trinidad and Tobago government.
The continued shutdown of nutrients plants is negatively affecting our country's reputation, our revenues, jobs, and even other industries and businesses.
Young is accusing the government of glaring incompetence, which he says is harming the country. Now, the business news, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is maintaining that the shutting down of the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery was a necessary step to prevent further financial losses, citing billions in deficits and ongoing debt obligations.
Don't talk nonsense about the PNM shut down the refinery because some other, you hear all kind of nonsense that fake oil and Rowley didn't want his partner Bash to get in trouble, so he shut down the refinery. That is the kind of nonsense that came from the Prime Minister in office today. That was the opposition story. We shut down the refinery because our local oil production was too low. We were buying oil to refine it.
At a media conference on Monday in which he addressed several issues, Dr. Rowley explained that at the time, Trinidad and Tobago was purchasing up to 100,000 barrels of oil per day to keep the refinery running. Much of that cost had to be covered by the Treasury. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices.
You know, I deliberately just keep it for this for you all to see. $64 a barrel. How much did the minister budget it for? Keep thinking, Trinidad and Tobago. Keep thinking. So, I'm taking your calls. Continue to take your calls on 464-7003. 464-7003. We're discussing matters that's happening in Trinidad and Tobago, and I want to hear your views. So while we're discussing what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago and waiting your call, we're seeing where social media bloggers of the UNC is making their way to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Thank you, and blessings to your family.
Thank you.
And blessings to Trinidad and Tobago. My truth will be a straight, solid thing because I'm living in Trinidad, but I'm living also in the world. And I got to be up to date where world events is concerned. Now, I am in agreement with all that Dr. Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley said. But I have my own observation about what is going on and what will happen in the final. I can be wrong, but I doubt very much I will be wrong. Now, Mr. Trump is playing a poker game because Mr. Trump has issues more than you. And the mainstream media is not bringing the true problems of Mr. Trump and what is happening to him in the United States of America. Not even CNN is bringing much of it, or MSNBC, or ABC. But what is happening to Mr. Trump? You see those lives he has outside there, out in Venezuela? Number one, Mr. Trump cannot afford to call no shots on Venezuela and cause these white people children to die. He do not have the power to do so. He has not gotten the permission to do so. Mr. Maduro and them know that. The Wagner group or everybody who is around supporting knows that. They are aware of the bluff he is putting out there. Yes, he brings big career and all that. He cannot do it. Mr. Trump is going to be arrested before the year done. Mainstream media are not bringing the facts of what's going on with Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump do not have the powers that you think he has. Mr. Trump is in dire peril. Why it is our little media hiding these facts from us? Because they want to keep the people in a quandary, create confusion, and more because the people here innocent, they suffer for the lack of knowledge. They're innocent. I'm a simple man here. I live in Trinidad. I pray a lot. I love my God, Lord God Jesus Christ. I love him. And I know for me to live here in Trinidad and Tobago, I got to understand world politics, what's going on in the world. And I am on the ball where Mr. Trump's security, his whole life history. If I go to speak about his life history, it takes too long. What I can tell you is immediate effect that there is not, he cannot call no shots. He's trying to force Venezuela to play the hand so that he can pull a shot. But these guys who are very experienced, they know what he is doing. But he wouldn't get through because he cannot cause them to play the game that he wants them to play. So in order for him to say, well, he defended himself. And the poor people with the simple minds they just frightened. The worst thing is when you have frightened people around you. And the media, we have a media here in Trinidad and Tobago. It's the worst. Now things will change, huh? It will change. But we are in for some rough times because Mr. Trump, it costs him billions of dollars to have these vessels here today. And it costs America a lot of money.
All right.
So thanks very much. Don't have no fear. Mr. Trump can't do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. So the caller say, have no fear. Mr. Trump can't do anything. I hear you, caller. But let me play this for you before I go on to something else. Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening.
Hey, Pastor Kuzul, good night, sir. How you doing?
Hey, grace and peace, man.
Yeah, in recent times it has become more and more increasingly evident that the intense animosity towards Dr. Rowley is clouding the judgment of people regarding the issues at stake here. Pastor Google. And therefore, while political rivalry is a natural part of our democracy, it is imperative that we do not allow personal feelings to overshadow the critical assessment of the policies that is being pursued by the current regime in respect to the issues of CARICOM, in respect to the issue of the zone of peace, in respect to all of that. I think it was incumbent upon Dr. Rowley today, as a former prime minister, to do what he did. And Pastor Google, I don't know if the wider population, and especially those who sit in high office and pontificated about Dr. Rowley's and the PNM action in time past, if Pastor Google like cat bite their tongue or dog bite their tongue or something, because it seems like there are very few people in our society who is concerned outside of the opposition who is fighting this battle. And some of the very members of some of the citizenry is still making this thing a UNC PNM thing and not recognizing the danger it poses for the nation. And, it begs the question. Dr. Rowley said some critical things today, Pastor Google. And one of the critical things he said today is what we all know, what we all have heard in the pipeline, that the present Prime Minister is not necessarily working the 5-day week and leaving everything up for other individuals to make the decisions, and some of the media is not calling on her to give an account for her stewardship when we are purged in such a precarious and dangerous place. I don't know. I mean, the church might pray, the people calling on it, generally people is questioning the motive. I'm asking myself, what is given up and what is she expecting to be able, because both ways we don't seem like we will win. If there is no war, it still doesn't seem like we will win because we made an enemy of our closest neighbors. Pastor Google, talk to me.
You are right. And that's the concern of every citizen. Well, let me take that back. That's the concern of concerned citizens. Citizens who are genuinely concerned about the nation is asking the Prime Minister to come and tell us, share with us, what is the arrangement?
I'm asking a bigger question now, because even the Commissioner of Police has been stating that because of the issue of the intrajudicial killings at sea, these illegal activities that is taking place, which is being mentioned by the international bodies, that it's not right, and even some in America is stating that, is saying that is the justification now for our state of emergency?
Yeah,
really?
but it is not working out. We had 4 murders over the week. We started today.
How is the commissioner therefore saying that drugs, and this is the foolishness sometimes, how is the commissioner saying, Pastor Google, that there's a low percentage of drugs in the country when the main drug that people use, which is marijuana, everybody in their home could have 4 trees?
I don't understand that.
Where did he get his statistics that there's a shortage of
marijuana
or marijuana in Trinidad? Okay, if you tell me to some degree human trafficking have gone down, I would say I can understand that.
But that's not true either, because you're seeing missing persons report happening all over.
Well, I'm saying even if I want to make a case for the commissioner's position, I'm just simply saying that I can say, okay, that could be so. But in terms of cocaine, I still see cocaine blocks. They say information is not evidence, but the information is out there, and we pass at certain places where the block is still running and the piper and them still looking for the thing and getting it. So I'm trying to figure out what is the yardstick the present commissioner is using to give us the assurance that because of the fight of the U.S. situation and what they are peddling, that is the reason for low crime rate. The reason has always been, in any time we have held a state of emergency, there have been some level of reduction in crime.
Thank you.
Every time, under whoever government it is, it has always been. But for the last month, if you see the kind of bloodshed we have had, then you cannot, while there is a reduction, it's similar to, and I must say this, I'm sorry to say this, but it's similar to us being under curfew, and Gary Griffith said it was the best time in Trinidad because at the time he's the best commissioner because he bring down crime, but we were under curfew.
You did not to be sorry about. That's exactly what he said.
I mean, I'm saying it to say that when you look at some of the logics that is used or the statistics that is used, you must see the variables within it. And when we look at the variables, then you have a better assessment. In other words, it has to be an holistic approach and not just a short-sighted approach that doctors statistics, because statistics by themselves don't always tell the true story. As you said, Look at the last 4 or 5 weekends, how bloody it has been in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm hoping that not just the former Prime Minister, but some of those who eat the food people, and I don't mean this in terms of party supporters, I mean some of the other folks in the society who were always jumping out, and talking against the former regime and their policies. At no point in the history of Trinidad, and I'm saying this now, that any PNM regime has ever brought us so close to a war zone, and have sided with anybody that does not make this particular region a zone of peace. I mean, Dr. Rowley again itemized in such simple ways. People dealing with the drug trade in the region does not mean that your internal struggle, that benefits your internal struggle in the way that it's being peddled. I mean, what is happening there? There's no even evidence of anything. We just see in photos and, Pastor Google, in this age of AI, I sorry to say, real things could be doctored and to give, because we know the highlight of that kind of engagement is propaganda. And you could make things appear the way they appear to give reason for the way you operate. I am hoping and praying that whatever have blinded the eyes of Trinidad and Tobago, that will be removed, and by the grace of God, by the will of God, we will somehow avert the clear and pending danger, and that we as a nation, it's sad, and I have to say this in no disrespect again, but out of respect for our leader, but still at the same time, what is sad, the person at the helm that is making that decision has less of their lives in front of them, more of their life is behind them than in front of them, And therefore, the posterity of the nation is at stake for somebody who probably, in all natural course, meaning even if they live to 100, less of their life in front of them than behind them. And so therefore we need to ask ourselves, is this the kind of position that we expected after 7 months, 6.5 to 7 months of an election where Trinidad and Tobago is at the brink of watching military action that can lead into a war and therefore hamper the very livelihood and nature of the life that we once knew in Trinidad and Tobago. I hope, whether it be Hindu, Muslim, Christian, I hope that we could come to our senses, Pastor Google, and recognize what is at stake. It's not UNC and PNM at stake here. It is the country that has given each and every one of us what we now have, whether it be little or much, and that we can stand together with one voice and signal to this present regime that we need to get clearer answers. Because you know what, Pastor Google? The foreign minister saying one thing, the attorney general saying one thing, what's the next one? The minister of defense saying one thing, and then the prime minister saying one thing. God help us. And let me say, like our Catholic brothers and sisters, God graciously help us. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Pastor Google.
You're most welcome. And don't be a stranger, please. Don't be a stranger. All right. So we coming down to the end of the program. But before we do that, I have 2 clips to show you. Well, 3 actually. Let's take this call and then I'll show you all the clips. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir.
I say kudos to all the callers who seeing things as it should be seen in the true light. You know, well, I'm just saying, thanks to Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, the true leader of our country, coming out and giving us that information which was really needed, you know, because, you know, we have either that, how let's say it, ASB, or missing in action or something like that, right? But missing in action, because as we speak, she's not taking up her duties as a leader.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, so let me show you all the videos. Let's go.
The U.S. says its biggest aircraft carrier strike group has now entered the Caribbean Sea. The U.S. Navy making that announcement a short time ago. The USS Gerald Ford is set to join major military exercises that are scheduled to begin today off the coast of Venezuela. The U.S. has already put more than a dozen warships and 15,000 troops in the region as tensions with Venezuela continue to rise. We've got full coverage for you. CNN senior reporter Betsy Klein is in Florida, where the president is spending the weekend. We're hearing from the Secretary of the Army today. What is he saying about Venezuela?
Well, Frederica, there have been weeks of threats from President Trump as the U.S. has been amassing resources in the region. And the president's administration has launched at least 20 strikes on alleged drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean since September. President Trump himself has said that he has authorized the CIA to operate in Venezuela. And we understand, according to reporting from our sources, that the president has been briefed a number of times in recent days, at least 3 times last week, on a range of options to move forward. That includes the possibility of airstrikes on military or government facilities in Venezuela, as well as drug trafficking routes, as well as what could be a more direct attempt to oust the country's president, Nicolas Maduro. The president told reporters Friday that he'd made up his mind, sort of, but declined to provide specifics. Now, experts have described this military buildup in the region as significant. As you mentioned, we have learned that the USS Gerald R. Ford, that is the nation's largest aircraft carrier, has arrived in the Caribbean Sea as of today. Separately, there are roughly 15,000 military personnel on the ground, 10 F-35 fighter jets, as well as more than a dozen warships in the region. And we heard from Army Secretary Dan Driscoll a short while ago about the plans. Listen.
I think that the President and Secretary of War have spent a lot of time thinking about what is the best thing they can do for the American people. And I can speak from the Army's perspective, which is we have a lot of training in that part of the world. We're reactivating our jungle school in Panama. We would be ready to act on whatever the President and Secretary of War needed.
But no orders beyond these exercises at this point?
We don't talk about those kinds of things, but we would be ready if asked.
Now, I want to get into the why here. Of course, officially, the Trump administration is going after drug trafficking operations in Venezuela, but regime change could be a side effect of that. And efforts to oust Maduro have proven elusive to so many administrations, including the president's first term. Now, if Trump ousted Maduro, that could allow him to claim some major wins. Of course, getting a strong man out and potentially an elected leader in, the possibility of enhanced collaboration on drug trafficking and migration flows, as well as potential deals in oil. Of course, all of this carries very high risks, and that is something that the president is now weighing, Frederica.
Okay. Betsy Klein, let us know more as you learn it. With me now is Global Affairs Analyst Kim Dozier. Welcome. Good to see you. So taking all of those alleged drug boats out and now doing these military exercises in the region. Is this a prelude for something more in terms of U.S. military involvement in or on Venezuela?
It certainly looks like that. What you see is a collection of forces, the kind that you would put together if you're going to do a series of airstrikes and strikes from those naval vessels on various targets across Venezuela. Most likely military targets, police targets, anything that would get in the way of Maduro being knocked out of power and possibly the opposition leader taking power. Anything that would challenge a successor's power. Also, possibly, they could just go after the drug cartels and various targets like that. That would give Trump a little bit more maneuverability because then he wouldn't be locked into a confrontation with Maduro and trying to get Maduro to leave power.
So if the U.S. were, if the ambition was to take out Maduro, that would mean that a U.S., whether it be a political or military planning, would know who the successor might be. Is the U.S. that far along in this kind of planning?
I think what we'll be able to tell what their goal is by what they choose to target. Now, they could just be putting the pressure on the Maduro regime with this huge show of force to try to get the various elements of the military to consider taking him out or replacing him. Maduro has already had to put down several coups during his time in office. The military is riddled with double agents from Cuba who are looking for just such coups in the planning. But it is also what you do to try to show force that would do something like the U.S. has done in Iran or in Yemen, a series of strikes that do a lot of damage but don't put U.S. troops on the ground in harm's way.
What is Venezuela's military equipped to, and able to do? Is it able to be in some sort of sustained conflict with the U.S., or is it strictly one that is equipped to protect itself?
Yeah, sustained conflict would be difficult. They've got supposedly 150,000 standing army, plus a number of small militias that back Maduro that would probably present more of an issue inside the cities in Venezuela. But that's if this goes to some sort of a ground operation. It is more likely that this would be a chance to knock out the system in power. And then, there's been a rebellion across the country that's barely repressed. And so the White House is probably banking on, if we push hard enough, that rebellion will surge forward, especially if people don't face the crackdowns that they've faced over the past several years of Maduro's rule.
Oh, interesting. And then President Maduro has most recently, while being interviewed by CNN's own Stefano Posaban, he invoked Libya and Afghanistan when he spoke. Essentially saying to the U.S. that, we know what your track record is. Yeah. When you have involved yourself in any kind of regime change or conflicts, do you really want that here? I mean, that was quite clever, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, also, if they do a head-on confrontation with the Venezuelan military, the military is well equipped to turn into an insurgency. It would be very hard to take this vast country that's about 30% larger than Texas. It's got a coast of 1,700 miles. And, generally, decapitation strikes don't work very well in the past. But if they can create enough friction that Maduro thinks, I can't stay in power, maybe someone like Russia would offer him asylum. It would have to be something like that the U.S. creates space for people on the ground in Venezuela to take action to remove him.
Oh, and that.
You all see where they put Trinidad and Tobago? What going on here? They put Trinidad and Tobago on the map, My goodness. While all of that is taking place, I want to show you guys this. While all of that is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, take a listen to this.
Yes, so my name is Stark Entertainment, and I'll be landing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines within 3 days.
3 days later.
I got the intelligence today
that UNC operatives, supported by the UNC communication specialists in the United States, will be coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines between tomorrow and Monday.
And I'll be landing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines within 3 days.
Well, you understand what's going on there? Well, yeah. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm calling from Arima.
Okay.
And it has some helicopters passing left, right, and center.
True.
Very low.
Why? What are you doing in Arima, so?
I don't know.
You sure? I feel only giving problems in Arima.
So I want to know what's going on. It's in Malabar and they're low. So let's find out what is happening, please.
The Prime Minister ain't talking to nobody.
Well, it's a mess.
Remember, all you vote for that, you know?
Oh, I didn't vote for that. I definitely did not vote for that.
I feel like you're buffing me.
No, I'm buffing him.
Nah, let's play it, mama. Let's play it. Let's play it.
And who vote for that? I find them should go in a corner with you.
And put a finger on the lip.
Yes. Because this is serious business.
All right. Thank you very much, Mom.
Google, find out what is going on with them things flying low, please.
Okay, mother.
Okay, darling. Have a blessed night.
Same to you. Thanks for watching our Miss Arima. So we have a lady from Arima calling, man. Want to know what's going on with them planes. Why are they flying so low in Malabar? Why? Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, Pastor.
Good evening, sir.
Pastor, apart from being a public servant, a lot of people don't know, I'm also ex-military. So when I hear people talking you're talking the crap on social media, I listen and smile because I don't know. We don't know nothing about anything about military, but for some reason they can tell us who, where, what's going, how, why. And what I admire most is no one because I look all over the place, no one condemned us already and say he lied in anything he said. And it's quite right. He almost, like I said, about 80% of the news this should be on TV. You're quite right. And he's also quite right. Given the fact that we happen to be a gas-based economy, and there's nothing but a protected in the platform because we have no destroyers, we have no frigates. So you ain't think being a leader and talking about a you ain't think you're putting your country's asset, most precious asset and hard-to-use assets in the country. You haven't thinking about that? Because, I mean, and quite a doctor is right. It has nothing to do with, no. You're talking about gun sharing, and you're talking about sharing gun sharing. And if people can't see beyond the rising sun and the horizon, can't see red, white, and black, then they will start sick. Because at the end of the day, if a bomb land here, it's not a little kid or UNC. It's sharing on the desert. And that is my concern right now. You're trying to tell me, you as a leader, before you more or less trying to be neutral. You rather take you telling me you doubling down and you threatening and you talking and you getting people tough stuff. And you smaller than that full up. You smaller than that map one airstrike could mash you up and that's your statement and you tell me now. When you're being called for your recklessness, you say stay calm. Really? I know right now you're hiding from the media. Why are you hiding from the media? You need to be the leader of the country. You pass it here, no? You are the leader of the country. You come and say the job. You come and say the box started you and started with you. So where do you know all of a sudden you can't sign it? That's how you intend the country. Then, so I want to know. After this SOE done, we got our next one. So we're going to SOE for 5 years. And the city government make it more responsible. And subsidy on, and start seeing the by the and I think it's Trinidad. It's a bomb land in the morning. Every man jack will be affected in many ways. And believe me, trust me who is ex-military, I do have my country. You really feel out my son. You really feel out my son to go up and tell you? No, I don't. And there was a caller who called about an hour or so ago. And he's quite right with many things to say. Because I see myself, but I just given my background, I went on and told you things. But my attendance is quite right. There was a it's not army, the Air Force plane coming in about 6 weeks ago. Then you had a destroyer about 2 weeks ago. And you're trying to tell people, stay calm, but people not shipping to see what's going on. Also, right. Stay calm.
Yeah, man.
You're listening.
Thank you very much. So here now, Dr. Mulilal backs Robert's probe, Victoria Keys, and watch for they put the background there. Those of you who live in San Fernando will know exactly what we'd be laughing at. Hello, good evening.
Pastor Goro, good evening. Just 1 minute I just calling for. You just showed the U.S. media giving some breakdown with respect to what's happening in our area. And I'm seeing the map of Trinidad and Tobago red.
I said that?
Likewise, Venezuela red. Red is for, blue is friendly. How Trinidad and Tobago is painted in red? Could you explain that for me? Red is for, blue is friendly. Why is Trinidad and Tobago paint red by the U.S. media? Is the U.S. coming to fight Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela?
Caller.
Yes, Pastor.
This is a little more important. Listen to this.
Yes. So my name is Stark Entertainment, and I'll be landing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines within 3 days.
3 days later.
I got the intelligence today that UNC operatives supported by the UNC communication specialists in the United States will be coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines between tomorrow and Monday.
And I'll be landing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines within 3 days. Yes, so my name is Stark Entertainment, and I'll be landing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines within 3 days.
3 days later.
I got the intelligence today that UNC operatives supported by the UNC communication specialists in the United States will be coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines between tomorrow and Monday.
And I'll be landing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines within 3 days.
Well, yeah. I don't know what to say, you know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, so he going for 5 years. Tory take everything.
No, because it's really making sense right now. Everybody, it's still getting murder in the place.
No. Why? Because I find the crime rate so high. We're not feeling safe anymore. We need more patrol in the area.
I believe it should be extended because security is very important to this country. A lot of crime.
too much of crime taking place in this country. You're not safer. Anyway, you're not safer. And I believe it should be extended and more officers around to protect the people.
Well, personally, I don't think we have a state of emergency going on because there's a lot of crime in the country happening. And for me, there's no detection of crime because people getting robbed all over the place. And the cameras that's supposed to be working to detect cars from point A to point B, I don't know if they're using it or if they're not using it. So a state of emergency to me is how no make sense.
No, it really makes sense. I see in that it making sense.
Yes, because people are safe in the country. Yes, because people are safe in the country.
Yes, because people are safe in the country.
Well, all you vote for SOE. Like that SOE not pay now.
Well, yeah. Let's see what's going on. Do you want to say like that? SOE up in now. So, let me say thank you very, 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 very much for being a part of Constructive Talk. Thank you very, very much for being a part of Constructive Talk this evening. It was a pleasure having you guys on with me this evening on Constructive Talk.
Hi. So a lot of people have been asking, where is Haley by Wendy? So anybody confused? That's okay. Don't be too concerned. We didn't move too far. Only from Matilda Princess Song to High Street Princess Song. I saw a video showing how to exactly get to us. As you can see, we are just over Security Union, and that yellow staircase is your pathway to many potential great services that you'll love. Just to name a few so you can get a hint of what we're all about: brainstorming, braids, relaxer, color, manicure, pedicure, waxing, and much more. Do you want to book an appointment with us? If so, message us on our WhatsApp at 868-331-9747.
You give your hand to me, and then you say hello, and nothing more can speak. My heart is beating so, and everyone can tell. You think you know me well, well you don't know me.
Hey guys, I am Nigel O'Connor, a singer for all seasons. I am that voice that moves you for every occasion. I am that voice that celebrates life moments one note at a time. I am Nigel O'Connor. You can contact me at 783-0054 or 754-3154. And oh yes, that's me singing in the background.
Apostle Dr. Corey K. Grant.
Oh, when the river flows, it will bring every dead thing to life. Because he is Yahweh, Alpha and Omega. That's who he is.
Invites you to an evening of just worship with the Burton sisters.
Jesus, we need a fresh
Spoken word. Ministry in dance with Faith Over Fear dance team. Come and be ministered to by several worship teams. An evening of just worship at Life in the Word Prophetic Cathedral at 166 Pointe-a-Pierre Road, Fistabella, San Fernando. See you there.
have one question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this mixed up land that we call Trimbe.
Daddy, what song is Keep Your Family Close?
Fall in, fall in, fall in. Oh yeah, fall in. Lord, family. Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, let me hear you sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Es la vibra. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la familia. Respeta siempre a tu familia. I used to be with them in the rain and get you bobbing down in the drain. And when you catch yourself on that strain, them on your back again and again. So much a mango surely climb. With them you spend so much of your time. Instead of getting exposed to crime, stay home and have a family line. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Vibes will be sweeter than candy. Well, let me hear you sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Family is the first ones that you call when times get rough and you take a fall. So when things nice and your money tall, then you should link with to have a ball. Or we should put the family first. About their wins we should always bounce. So when you take and your Christmas toast, just for the ones you love the most. Family, Christmas is a family. From the children to tante, cousin, uncle and auntie. Family, spend Christmas with family. Keep your family close. Life will be sweeter than candy. Well, everybody sing. Oh, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. Ah, hey. Dulce caramelo, dulce caramelo. A cada niño necesita una familia. A cada niña necesita una familia. No podemos olvidar a la familia. Respeta siempre a tu familia.